Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Syaiqquddin with NIM 226121218, and here I will present about 5 material from language learning assessment, and that is the concept, and then affective domain, and then types of tests, strengths and weakness, and then role in producing item tests, and then the last is types of validity. So let's start by the first one. The first one is the concept. The concept of learning evaluation is process of obtaining data and information needed to determine the extent and how the learning that has taken place in order to make judgment and improvement needed to maximize the result. For the example, the teachers give a multiple choice test, then converts the material has been learned for a semester. The teacher then correct the student's answer and give the score. And also, the teacher give the feedback to the students about the strength and the weakness of the understanding the material. Okay. And then for the second topic is affective domains. So, affective domains contains behavior that emphasize aspects of feelings and emotion, such as interest, attitude, appreciations, and way of adjusting oneself. So here is the pyramids of affective domain. So let's talk one by one. Okay, start from receiving or A1. Receiving is aspect student to recognize, be willing to accept, and pay attention to various stimuli. In this case, students are still passive, just listening and pay attention. For the example, listening carefully to explanations about disposing of trash in a proper place. Okay, and the next is responding or A2. Responding is the desire to do something as a reaction to an idea, objects, or value system, more than just recognition. In this case, students are expected to demonstrate the requested behavior. For example, responding to the positive impact of proper waste disposal. And then the third one is valuing or A3. Appreciation of value is feeling, belief, response that a certain idea, object, or way of thinking has value. In this case, students consistently behave according to a value, even though there are others who require it. For the example, showing a supportive attitude toward proper waste disposal. And then is organizing or A4. It's show the interconnections between certain value in a value system and determine which value has higher priority than the other value. In this case, the student became committed to a value system. For example, choosing alternative way to implement the behavior of proper waste disposal in the household environment. And the last, characterizing or A5. It is related to the organization and integration of value into personal value system. At this level, students have not only achieved behavior at a lower level, but have integrated this value into complete and conveying character. For the example, making the habit proper waste disposal a part of everyday life. Okay, for the next is type of test, strength and weakness. So in here, in this topic, I will talk about oral test. Oral test is a test whose implementation is carried out by holding a questions and answer directly between teacher and student. Okay, so I will talk about the first one is the strength. The strength of these types of tests is better assessment because it can assess the ability and level of knowledge of students in the expressing their opinion orally. And then test results can be immediately known to the student. And then minimize cheating. And the last one is learners can express argument freely without being systematic. Okay, but here is a weakness. The weakness is educator subjectivity often contaminate test result and then requires quite a lot of time, especially if the number of participants is large. And the last weakness is if the student have nervous nature, it can interfere with smooth answer. And the next topic is roles in constructing test item. Constructing test item, whether for educational assessment, psychological evaluations, or other purpose, require carefully attention to detail to ensure validity, reliability, fairness, and effectiveness. And here I will talk some generals to consider when constructing test item. Okay, the first one is clearly defined objective. Before creating test item, clearly define the objective of the assessment. What knowledge, skill, or ability are you trying to measure? Link each item with these objectives. The second one is use clear and concise language. Test item should be written in clear, straightforward language that's appropriate. Avoid ambiguity or overly complex wording that could confuse test taker. And then the third one is ensure content validity. This item should cover the contents or skill being assessed adequately. Preview the contents domain and ensure the item test represent and fair sample of the material being tested. And the fourth is balance item difficulty. Includes item of varying difficulty level to assess the full range of ability within the target population. This helps differentiate between high and low performance. And the fifth is avoid biased language. Ensure that test items are free from culture, gender, or socioeconomic bias. Use inclusive language and avoid stereotypes that could unfairly disadvantage certain group. Okay, the sixth is follow a clear format. Use a consistent format for all test items to make instructions and expectations clear to test taker. Include any necessary direction or guidelines for responding to item. And the seventh is include clear instruction. Provide clear instruction for each item, specifying what is required of the test taker. For the example, select the best answer, provide a right responder, and etc. So, by adhering to these rules, test constructs can create assessment that provide valid, reliable, and fair measure of indeed constructs. Okay, and the last topic is types of validity. Okay, there are three types of validity. The first one is content validity, the second one is construct validity, and the last one is creations related validity. So I will explain one by one. Start from content validity. Okay, the first one is content validity. The instrument can be said that it's meet the content validity if the material we measure to the instrument is in accordance with the material contents in applicable curriculum. These are two kinds of content validity, namely face validity and logical validity. What is face validity? Face validity considered valid if the test item appear to match the variable to be measured, while logical validity measuring instrument depending on the extent to which the test item reflect the aspects to be measured. And the second one is construct. Construct validity is a form of validity that demonstrates how well a test can validity accurately measure a specific trait or theoretical concept. It also assesses if the scores obtained from the test reflects the theoretical framework used to create the test. In simple terms, construct validity determines whether an instrument accurately measures the indeed trait and if it's suitable for that purpose, including other variables. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you so much for your nice attention. And the last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.